Well, you've already kind of answered. I was going to
Yeah.
ask that question as well for men, like for the man who maybe didn't see it modeled, like you said, and who struggles to know how to love his wife sacrificially and be that leader. Would you offer any other practical advice for him?
I mean, yeah, I got plenty of. I don't live much of it out very well, but I mean, I jotted down a couple of things here just as you were, we were, discussing these topics beforehand. I mean, some real practical things, guys. When we think that our wife, when we think she knows how much we love her because we told her one time 6 months ago, we should decide to say it and to show her in a specific way. When we think, I don't know, different homes are going to be different, but we think our wife doesn't want to know maybe about the finances and she's maybe entrusted that to you. Maybe in some homes the wife handles that, but let's use that for example. Do her the honor of inviting her into that conversation to say, and maybe she doesn't want to know about it, but respect her, show love that way. When you think that your wife, as females typically are, more emotional, it's just the wiring that's there. Not always the case. There's always an exception, but typically, instead of kind of running away from the emotions, or certainly tuning that out, try to put yourself in a posture of inviting clarity on what is going on, listening, hearing, sitting with her. I think we do have a general concept in the evangelical churches, guys, that we're supposed to love our wife, and that includes some kind of protector role. And I mean, realistically, probably not many of us are going to be in a spot where we have to actually like use our physical capability to save the life of our wife or something. I mean, that'd be pretty rare. But exerting that in a daily basis to let her know we are watching out for her, we care for her, we're praying for her, and
I
of
mean,
course,
those things are
yeah,
huge.
and of course, one of the biggest things is just your. We talked about this in our life group too. The roles we're defining in complementarity do not mean no delegation. So, my wife is way better at thinking about, since our boys were little, what kind of spiritual investment what should they be reading? What kind of prayer time should we have? And that is a good thing. At the same time, and I'm thankful for that, at the same time, husbands, we shouldn't like shift into neutral gear on that. We should try to be initiating with that in a like, honey, what do you think we should do for
yeah, she might have good
investing?
ideas
Yeah,
for your
fantastic
role
ideas.
in that.
But you can initiate to say what decisions, what steps could we take? And I think again, if that's at all a typical dynamic, the wife will be encouraged. She will feel loved by knowing that the husband is trying. It's a good way to lead and a good way
Yeah,
to
he's
love
there and he's
her.
ready to
Yeah.
participate.
So
And, what about the role of community?
I think that helps both. I mean, that's why I think, life groups, men's groups, women's groups, even just general friendships that we build within the body of Christ, that's so vital. Not as, we all know that those can sometimes devolve into like a gripe session about
Right.
troubles we're having of all kinds, including with spouse, but the opposite of that would be acknowledging the struggle and then encouraging one another to pursue it. And that is, I think, how we have a different voice than the cultural message. Because the culture it's not just a message. There's certainly a message out there that would immediately react to the S word, submission, and say, oh, I can't even imagine you would suggest such a thing. But there's also, as I mentioned on Sunday, there's a huge cultural movement, definitely a dynamic among young men right now, 18 to 30, which is, I am tired of having to navigate whether I'm toxic masculinity or I'm a bump on a log or I'm whatever. I don't know what. So I'm just going to go out into life for myself. I can get a job and make money. I can buy the sports car. I can have a girlfriend that's, some kind of connection, but not really a deep heart life commitment. And all of these things that that other people around us can speak a message that says, no, God's design for this marriage relationship, and there certainly is a design for a godly singleness. It doesn't mean you have to be married to do this, but for those that are called to marriage, those other people around us can really build us up if we choose to do that in our
Right.
in
Or
our
seek
community.
out the people who are not going to just condone our coping mechanisms,
Yes, true.
but push us towards growth. And you have
Right.
to be intentional to find those people.
Yep,
I
very
think.
true. Yeah, and invite that from others around you. Say, hey,
Right.
I am trying to, for guys, I would think it's sitting in a group and saying, guys, I'm trying to love my wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, and I don't think I'm doing it very well in these areas, or my
Right.
wife and I have talked about it, and she feels disappointed in this area. I really need your help to see some of these things. Or, guys, you know me, where do you see that maybe he hasn't even talked to his wife about it. Where do you see that I might be able to improve in this? And, inviting others to speak into our lives.
Well, and that confession is healing too,
Yeah.
right? Just acknowledging.
So, those are some thoughts that I had, and these are great questions for us to wrestle through.
Yeah. Well, thanks for thinking through those things and responding. I think it's helpful to hear a little bit more like raw, what are your thoughts and how is this working out, for you, and so I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks.